We admit that even we didn't expect these to be the 10 safest countries in Europe. We conducted thorough research on each European nation, delving into real crime data across various European countries, and comparing our rankings with external sites beyond Europe, such as the Government of Canada's website. We must say that this ranking was unexpected even for us. We analyzed 7 crimes: homicides, robbery, rape, burglary, motor and vehicle theft, pickpocketing, and illegal drug consumption. The result was shocking. Some of the nations in this ranking are renowned for their level of safety, but others have taken us by surprise. Some of these nations are often underestimated but prove to be the top 10 safest places in Europe based on real crime data. We genuinely look forward to reading your comments to know what you think. Here are the top 10 low-crime countries in Europe. Number 10. North Macedonia. This was the first surprise for us, but the official website of the Government of Canada confirms our research. North Macedonia and the other countries mentioned in this ranking are safe. This nation ranks as the 9th safest country in Europe for robberies, the 7th for burglaries, and the 5th safest for homicides, tied with others. It is also the European country with the lowest per capita drug consumption. Additionally, attacks against foreigners are extremely rare, except for some pickpocketing incidents, mostly involving minors, in certain shopping areas or crowded areas of Skopje. Regarding organized crime, we have heard the opinion of the Global Organized Crime Index, a worldwide reference point for the analysis of organized crime, also supported by Interpol, the European Union, and the United States government. This site confirms that North Macedonia is improving more and more, to the point of being much safer in this regard than countries like France and the United Kingdom. As we mentioned before, even the official website of the Government of Canada confirms that North Macedonia is a safe country, and instead states that France and the United Kingdom are countries where tourists should exercise a high degree of caution. Do you agree with the Government of Canada? Write it in the comments. In any case, we have already seen the situation in France and the United Kingdom in the video on the 10 European countries with the highest crime rates, which you can find here at the top. Number 9. Switzerland. No surprises that Switzerland is in the top 10 safest countries in Europe, but we are a bit surprised not to see it higher in the ranking. The point is that, according to official data, Switzerland is in a good position regarding robberies and burglaries, and it is among the top in Europe for homicides, with 43 committed in 2022, equal to a rate of 0.5 homicides per 100,000 inhabitants. However, in other aspects, Switzerland lags a bit, especially concerning sexual violence. Mind you, it's not that things are going badly. It's just that various European nations outperform in these aspects. But what surprises is the perception that the Swiss have of crime in their country. According to a survey from the Zurich University of Applied Sciences, 61% of the population believes that crime has been increasing in recent years, even though the data reports a slight decrease. Furthermore, 68.8% of respondents believe that crimes committed by foreigners have become more frequent in Switzerland. But who commits crimes in Switzerland? This graph reveals the official data. You can also take a screenshot to analyze it better. 25% of the resident population does not have Swiss nationality. According to the data, approximately half of drug-related offenses and crimes against the criminal code are committed by Swiss citizens, and the other half by foreigners, divided into resident foreigners, asylum seekers, and other foreigners such as tourists, cross-border workers, and those without permission to enter the country. Criminologist Marcelo Ibe points out that people without residence permits do not have access to the labor market, and therefore, there is a risk that they are active in the informal economy. Number 8. Romania. We must admit that it seems strange even for us to place Romania one step above Switzerland, but our research aligns with the data from the Global Organized Crime Index. Some prejudices describe Romania as a relatively dangerous country. In reality, crime has been significantly and consistently decreasing since the 1990s. It ranks 9th in the list of the safest countries in Europe for homicides, 8th for robberies and motor vehicle thefts, while being the 2nd safest country in terms of drug consumption. Romanian cities are very safe. Consider that in 2023, 5 cities, namely Bucharest, Timișoara, Cluj-Napoca, Brasov, and Iași, were ranked among the top 100 safest cities in the world. Another characteristic of Romania is that gun violence is very rare in this country, thanks in part to having some of the strictest gun laws globally. Of course, crime exists, but it is more prevalent in rural areas. Regarding crimes against tourists, the United States Department of State Bureau of Diplomatic Security has stated that most crimes against visitors are limited to crimes of opportunity or scams, while violence against tourists is very rare. Number 7. Czech Republic. The crime rate in the Czech Republic has been decreasing over the past 5 years. Sexual assaults and homicides are steadily and slightly decreasing, although unfortunately, there was an armed attack unrelated to terrorism in December 2023. A 24-year-old man entered the University of Prague and killed 14 people. This tragic incident naturally raises the homicide rate, but it must be noted that this is an extremely rare exception in the history of the Czech Republic. As for thefts, they are significantly decreasing. The Czech Republic ranks 5th in Europe in this category. Specifically concerning car and motorcycle thefts, there is room for improvement, but at the same time, there are many European nations where the situation is worse, elevating the Czech Republic's ranking. The same applies to pickpocketing. Prague, especially Wenceslas Square, frequented by many tourists, and the park around the central station, has the highest number of pickpockets. Otherwise, the Czech Republic is relatively safe in this regard. Looking at economic crimes, in 2022, crimes related to tax evasion or money laundering from criminal activities increased, but crimes committed in relation to insolvency proceedings, such as fraud or embezzlement, decreased. Number 6. Poland. Poland was also a small surprise for us, but in reality, upon checking Eurostat data, we saw that our surprise was unfounded, as Poland has been considered safe for several years now. Homicides are decreasing in Poland, making it the 3rd safest country in Europe in this category, tied with others. It ranks 7th for robberies and is the 8th country concerning rapes, even higher if considering all types of violence against women, including psychological. It also performs well in pickpocketing. Unfortunately, certain prejudices are hard to die, but even the Global Organized Crime Index, a reputable entity accredited by both the European Union and the United States government, confirms that Poland fares even better than Switzerland regarding the influence of organized crime. Of course, organized crime exists in Poland, but recent studies show that it has managed to infiltrate Swiss structures more than Polish ones. However, we are still talking about low numbers compared to other European nations. Number 5. Slovakia. Crime in Slovakia has been sharply and consistently decreasing in the last 5 years, making it one of the safest places in Europe. It is the 10th safest country regarding burglary, 3rd in homicides, 5th in pickpocketing, and 3rd in robbery. The least safe area is Bratislava, the capital of Slovakia, especially in the Bratislava 1 and 3 districts. Crimes are more likely to occur around midnight and in the early morning hours on weekends. It is also known for being a very safe country for women traveling alone. More and more tourists are choosing Slovakia as their holiday destination. This small but charming country has become increasingly famous for having one of the highest concentrations of castles in Europe and the world. What has contributed to a significant increase in tourists in recent years is the wonderful nature that Slovakia has to offer. Slovakia has no access to the sea, but if you love greenery, parks, caves, lakes, and mountains, then it is a country you must visit. It is also becoming an increasingly appreciated destination for retirees who choose to permanently move to the nation. As we have explained in videos on the 10 best European countries for retirees, Slovakia offers full exemption from taxes for foreign retirees who move there. Number 4. Austria. Regarding Austria, there are no surprises. It has long been classified as one of the safest countries not only in Europe but in the entire world. It ranks among the top countries for safety in homicides, and the numbers are decreasing every passing year. Pickpocketing is also well under control. This doesn't mean there are no pickpockets, but Austria is generally safe in this category. Theft, both in general and of cars and motorcycles, is also declining, and assaults, which were already few, are decreasing as well. Austria also performs very well in the category of sexual violence. Austria is, in fact, a country in constant improvement. In 2001, the total number of reported incidents to law enforcement was almost 523,000, but over the years, it has steadily decreased, reaching just 411,000 in 2021. Meanwhile, the case resolution rate has increased from 42% to over 55% in these 10 years, demonstrating the effectiveness of the Austrian police. The two categories of crimes that have seen the most significant decrease are robberies and home burglaries, both halved in the last 10 years. As for overall property crime, involving the violation of an individual's or a company's property, it has even dropped by 2/3. Yet, even among Austrians, there is a sense that crime has increased in the last 3 years. What do you think about this difference between perception and reality? Write it in the comments. Number 3. Slovenia. Some time ago, we made a video about the 10 European countries where residents perceive a high level of safety. Slovenia ranked 3rd, and it also ranks 3rd in this list, based not on the perception of crime but on actual data. It is well known that it is a safe country for both tourists and locals. It is one of the safest European countries in terms of pickpocketing, ranking 10th. Moreover, it is even safer concerning robbery and homicides, ranking 4th and 2nd respectively. Slovenia boasts one of the lowest homicide rates not only in Europe but in the world. In this small country, there are 0.6 homicides per 100,000 inhabitants. Excluding micronations like San Marino or the Vatican City, Slovenia is the second safest country in Europe in this category, tied with other nations. Slovenia is a small country and can be visited safely. The largest cities in Slovenia, such as Ljubljana and Maribor, are small compared to urban centers in other European countries, and they are also safe at night. Walking, whether during the day or at night, is considered safe. In fact, Slovenia is the country with the highest perception of safety when walking alone at night in Europe, with 78.4% of people stating that they have no fear. Number 2. Hungary. Hungary is a unique country in its own right. None of the neighboring nations closely resemble it because it is located in Central Eastern Europe, but its history has long been intertwined with Austria. Budapest is undoubtedly one of the most beautiful and fascinating capitals in Europe, and other significant art cities include Pécs, Eger, and Visegrad. Hungary is another European country that has seen a significant decrease in crime over time. In 1989, after the opening of borders due to the collapse of the Soviet regime, Hungary experienced a massive increase in crime, and in 1991, there was a peak in homicides, mostly involving members of criminal gangs. However, the situation has radically changed since then. The homicide rate is very low, with 0.9 homicides per 100,000 inhabitants. Moreover, Hungary ranks as the 9th country in Europe with the lowest drug consumption, the 6th safest country regarding rapes, the 3rd in the category of burglary and the 2nd in robbery. The county with the highest crime is Heves, in the northern part of the country, while the county with the lowest crime rate is the eastern county of Békés. Before revealing the unexpected safest country in Europe, if you found this video interesting, we ask you to like and subscribe to the channel by clicking on the bell so as not to miss other videos. This gesture costs you nothing, but it can really help us expand our project and thus promote European society and wonders. Thank you. Number 1. Cyprus. Cyprus has long been known for its safety, but we did not expect to find it in the first place. But one must not confuse between the two parts of Cyprus. It is an island divided in two nations. In the northern part of the island, there is the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus. This part is separated from the rest of the island by a buffer zone under the control of the UN. You don't need to worry, as the situation between the two parts of the island is much more relaxed than in the past. The safer part is the Greek-speaking one, located in the southern part of the island, and it is this part that we discuss in this video. In fact, Cyprus ranks 10th for the lowest drug consumption, 2nd for rapes, and also 2nd in the robbery category, tied with Hungary. The safest category is pickpocketing, as Cyprus is the safest nation in Europe in this regard, excluding microstates. It is not uncommon to see houses with doors wide open, especially in small towns. For this reason, it is one of the preferred European countries for foreign retirees who permanently relocate seeking a safe country, excellent climate, hospitable people, low taxes, and a low cost of living, as explained in the dedicated video. We know that this ranking may have been unexpected for some of you, as it was for us. We have already released a video on the 10 safest countries in Europe, but it was based on the residents' perception of crime. The video you just watched, however, is grounded in actual data. If you check out that previous video, you'll notice that perception and reality can sometimes be quite different from each other. So, we really look forward to hearing your opinions. Write them in the comments. We also recommend watching the video about the 10 European countries with the highest crime rate, again based on the real data of these 7 analyzed crimes. Well, that's all for this video. Until next time.